businesses most is not your revenue. They're not looking at your revenue to determine whether or not you're a real expert. They are looking to see your ideas, how you communicate those ideas, and how you're going to be able to transform the company that they've already built. And let's just walk this back. So yeah, as an individual business owner, when I'm looking to hire a business coach, personally, the way that I hire, this is a different mindset. This is not how most people hire coaches. I don't even know how most people hire coaches because I do things differently. I don't look at the coach's revenue or what they say about what they make online. That's fine. I look at whether or not this particular individual can share with me an idea that will help me get to my next level. Do they have big enough ideas to help me grow my business, to help me get to the next level? If so, then I'm on to something. Then I'm going to learn something from that individual. Because here's something that we need to understand. I have sat in the room with people who've made 30, 40, $50 million a year. And guess what? They did not offer me any insight that would help me move my business forward. Why? Because although they were able to obtain success for themselves, they were not able to obtain success for others. They were not able to condense their success down into a framework that they could then teach other people to help other people get to their next level. So like myself, large corporations are not just looking for you to have your own personal success that you've acquired, but they're looking to see, do you have ideas that are big enough that not only you can clearly articulate, but secondly, you can put into a framework and teach their audience, teach their employees, to help their employees get to the next level, to help their company grow. Because I think that we often look at entrepreneurship and we look at success as entrepreneurs differently, differently than we need to. You're, as a speaker, as someone who's looking to get paid to speak, as someone who's looking to have corporate clients, looking to have corporations come to you and pay you for your expertise, they aren't necessarily looking at you. They're not looking at your business. They're not impressed by your website. They're not impressed by your Instagram. They're impressed by the way that you can communicate your ideas to help them grow, period. And as long as you can do that, then you're going to be able to help these companies get to the next level, and you're going to be able to create impact and change in their organization. So I don't want you all to be afraid or to be scared or to be apprehensive about pitching very large organizations, your expertise, when in fact you have a real expertise that's been proven, and it's something that people can learn from in the actual marketplace. So when that's the case, I feel like that is the main thing. That is the main thing. So the number one thing keeping speakers from growing their business and keeping speakers stuck is thinking that they have to have a business equal to that of their clients, equal to or greater than that of their clients. And that's not the case. That's not how companies are deciding who they're going to hire, who they're going to work with, who they're going to buy from in the marketplace. So if you all have any thoughts on this or any questions about this, drop it in the comments or join the stage and let me know your thoughts on this particular topic. But we're talking about some myths that are keeping speakers from growing their businesses and keeping speakers from going to the next level or growing to the next level. So I want to give you guys a formula for developing your expertise that I think will be really helpful, or identifying their expertise. And we're going to do some myth busting stuff along the way. So number one, when you're thinking about your expertise, you do need to embody your expertise. You need to embody your expertise. And what do I mean by that? Your expertise may not be something, the thing that you're very good at, the thing that you can teach, the thing that you really should be sharing with others on how to do. It may not be a hard skill. It may be a soft skill, but it needs to be something that you embody, which means if I were to hear, or if a company were to see that, like if you are going to say, I am someone who teaches leadership, then you need to embody leadership. You need to have a proven track record of leading people, right? So it's not necessarily about your income, but it is going to be at that point about your impact, because what you are purporting to teach is leadership. And that's going to mean what that means is you're a leader. You can lead people. So you need some demonstrated ability to show that you've been able to lead people well. It also means that when you show up on that sales call with that corporation, you aren't afraid to ask them for what you want. You aren't stuttering when it comes to talking about your rate and your price and the things that make you excellent and exceptional. You are able to really, really, really lead them through the sales call. So if you're going to come in and teach leadership, you don't want to show up like a follower. You want to show up in your unique individual authority, right? So you do need to embody your expertise. You need to embody your expertise. And I teach something called the FAME method when developing your expertise. So what friends and family say about you may be the key to you unlocking your expertise. It may be the key to you identifying the thing that you are so great at, and it comes so naturally to you that with the right coach, with the right training, with the right investment, you can convert that into a program for others. Because figuring out your expertise is the first step, in my opinion, to developing your framework and developing the platform by which you're going to sell companies on hiring you, right? So income is important, generating revenue is important in your business. Being able to show that you have clients, to show that you've been able to help people is important. And we talk a lot about that mainly because of what we teach other speakers. Like, I can't say I teach speakers to make money, but I've never closed a 6-figure licensing deal. I can't say that I teach speakers to do 5- and 6-figure licensing deals, and I've never done it. So obviously I have to tell you guys, yes, I've done it, not just for me, but for my clients. I've helped other people do it, which I think is more telling as to whether or not I'd be a good fit or a good coach for other people. Not just, yeah, I made 6 figures. Yeah, I made 7 figures, but who else have I helped to land these 4-, 5-, and 6-figure deals? Who have I negotiated through that process? Who have I guided through that process? I think that's more telling. Having those testimonials, which I think is why people look at them so heavy. But when it comes to corporations, and I'm going to give you guys another tip that most people won't even tell you. There are some companies that if you lead them through the sales process so well, if you explain your unique value proposition so well, they won't even ask for referrals. They won't even ask for testimonials. They won't even ask for all of these extra factors to prove that you are who you say you are, because you've walked them through your process so well. So while some of you are sitting out there waiting and hoping to get a speaking engagement, but you're speaking for free 50 times a year, or you want to speak for free 20 times first, if you were able to get clear on what it is you're going to teach these corporations, what it is you're going to teach these organizations, they may be so impressed with what you have to offer that they're not even asking about, who else have you done this for? Give me 5 references, give me 10. Now, I've closed quite a few corporate deals. My last 3 corporate clients have not asked for referrals. They haven't asked for that. Could I have provided them? Absolutely. But did they ask? No. What does that tell me? If you do a good enough job showing them that, 1, you understand the problem that they're going through, and 2, you have crafted a unique solution that only you can provide, then they're not really concerned about all the other stuff. They want to get you in there to provide the solution that you sold. Now, of course, you want to make sure you actually can provide the solution. You actually have a process by which to take them through. But I find that a lot of people aren't pitching their speaking skill set. They're not pitching their expertise. And it's not because they don't have an expertise. It's not because they don't have the skill set to land these clients. It's really because they just aren't, they aren't confident enough in where they're at to start pitching. And that is why, folks, you hire coaches, because then you have someone to give you that confidence to say, no, I've seen this, I've done this, I've closed that, I've seen these contracts, that's normal, that's not normal, etc. So we're talking about, just to reset the room, because we have a lot of new folks joining, super excited about that. Just to reset the room, we are talking about the #1 lie keeping speakers from growing their business, but this is also something that keeps entrepreneurs from growing their business as well. And it's this notion that you can't have impact without having a huge amount of income, and you can't have a billion-dollar client without making billions yourself. What can you teach? A lot of us have this imposter syndrome voice in our head that's like, what could I teach a billion-dollar business? They already do customer service so well. I can't teach them anything about customer service. What could I teach CEOs that are leading Fortune 100 companies about leadership? I've never led a Fortune 100 company. That is not the standard. The standard is, can you coach someone else to the end result? If yes, then you need to be pitching any and everyone on your services, on your products, on the packages that you have to offer. And I'll just be real with you guys. I personally believe that a lot of us have missed money in the marketplace listening to naysayers. And not just naysayers, listening to popular people who have told us what we can't do. I personally believe we have literally diminished the amount of money. Like we have let money just fly out the window for us because we've listened to popular people tell us what we cannot do. And I feel as though I just wanted to be the one to let y'all know on this Good Tuesday morning, you do not have to wait until you get to a certain point before you get to a certain level to start sharing what you actually know with the world, as long as you actually know it. This is not for people who don't really have an expertise, who don't really know, they can't lead anyone to a result. Not for you. But if you are someone that can lead people to a result and you're just waiting to get all your ducks in a row, you're waiting until you hit that first multi-6-figure year, you're waiting until you hit that first 7-figure year to actually go out there and stake your claim in the world and help other people get a result, I think that's silly. And I also think it's selfish. So take yourself out of it and start helping the people. And don't be intimidated by these large corporations, because I'm telling you, every single day, like today, a large company is signing a contract with someone who has a business smaller than theirs. I shared this on Facebook. My most recent client last quarter, they hit $1 billion with a B. Okay. We have not hit our first billion yet. Okay. We haven't. But that does not mean that I don't have an expertise to share with this multi-billion-dollar corporation that I'll be sharing some skills with next week, as it relates to my love method of communication framework. So I definitely wanted to encourage you all in that. If any of you out there are speakers and you're having a hard time choosing your expertise for the marketplace, then feel free to hop on stage. If you are a speaker and you're crushing it in the marketplace and you'd like to share tips for other people in the room while the room is open, because I am not doing like an all-day Clubhouse session. Shout out to y'all that can do that. But I have a meeting at 11 a.m. Feel free to hop on stage. But we talked about first, in developing your expertise, the F, what do friends and family say about you? Those are going to be the soft skills that you can then teach other people. And I have not met someone yet who's been living this life, who's built something of import, and who's been able to live life in a positive manner that doesn't have an expertise that a corporation could glean value from. So first, you're figuring out what your friends and family say about you. And then after you figure out what they say about you, you're going to have to package that in a way that corporations can actually get value from it. The other thing that you want to consider is your audience. One of the reasons speakers don't grow their business, don't make money in their business, is because they are targeting audiences that cannot pay. So a lot of women come to me and what they say is, hey, I want to teach single mothers how to parent. And that's the audience that I've been targeting. I've been going to conferences to teach, and this is just an example, single moms how to parent. And I don't want them to pay for it. I want to do it gratuitously, etc. That is a fabulous mission. It is a wonderful mission. It is a mission that I fully understand and support. That said, if you are targeting audiences that cannot pay you, you're going to have to get creative about who can pay you. And the way that you package that, like the way that I will deliver the speech to that audience, right? Moms who are struggling to figure out life. Let's say that's it. 15-year-old mom struggling to figure out life. If that's the audience that I'm targeting, that's fine. But the organization that's going to pay me may be a completely different organization. It may be a government entity that is looking to ensure that all of the, that they have a certain college acceptance rate. It may be a nonprofit organization that has a mission for moms, but you have to figure out what is that organization's mission. And if that organization's mission is divorced from the ultimate goal of the audience, then I have to position and package my presentation for the audience for the organization that's going to pay me, not necessarily for the audience. Like with schools, the students are going to have one objective. They want to have fun. They may want to graduate. They do want to graduate. They want to have fun. They want to do all that stuff. But the school's objective is ensuring that they have a certain attendance rate. So when I'm pitching school districts for particular presentations and speeches that I'm going to sell them on, then my positioning is going to be for the school district. When I get on stage to talk to the students, that positioning is going to change. Okay. And so you want to make sure that you are tailoring your message and your pitch to the audience that's going to pay you. And then when you get on stage, of course, your presentation is going to be for the audience. You're going to tailor your speech to the audience. You're going to tailor your activities to the audience. But that only comes after you get paid by the audience that's going to pay you. So hopefully this is making sense. If you all have any questions about this, please let me know. But what I find is that we lead with our mission and not necessarily thinking about this as a business. And this is for people who have for-profit businesses. If you are someone who's in the business or someone who leads a for-profit organization, you want to make sure you're being compensated for your work. So I specifically work with speakers, teaching them how to get paid to speak. So for those of you who just joined the room, we're talking about the number one lie keeping speakers from growing their businesses. And I will repeat what that lie is in just a minute. My name is Ashley Kirkwood. I host the Speaker Ready Cash Lounge on Clubhouse, the Speaker Ready Cash Facebook group on Facebook, and the Speaker Ready Cash podcast, which is on Apple and Google Play and all that fun stuff. I teach speakers how to land and package 5- and 6-figure corporate speaking engagements, and also how to get paid to speak from those one-off engagements through our programs. If you are someone who is like, I would love to get paid to speak, I don't know where to start, this is your chance to hop on the stage, ask me any questions you have while we keep this room open. I'm not playing with y'all all day, keeping this room open all day on Clubhouse, but I am excited to answer any questions that you do have. So feel free to come on up and ask any questions that you have. I would be happy to answer those questions for you. So let me know if this is helpful. Let me know if you all are getting this. Lynn says this is good. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we talked about your expertise. I'm going to keep going through this. What friends and family say about you, those are going to be your soft skills. Soft skills have quantifiable value in the market. I think that we take advantage of those soft skills, the fact that you have good character, the fact that you know how to remain peaceful when all chaos is happening, the fact that you're seen as someone who exudes joy. Joy can be a corporate presentation and can be packaged appropriately. The fact that you have exceptional leadership skills, the fact that you've been able to build Facebook communities, the fact that you know how to build connectivity with your audience, the fact that you have a high open rate on your email list. Maybe you're not selling these big companies on a high open rate on your email list, but you're selling them connection with their audience. Because right now that everyone's virtual, connection is a huge, huge, huge thing that we absolutely need to ensure that people have. We need to make sure that people have what they need. We need to make sure that people are being connected. And so if you are someone who can be connected, you are someone who is able to connect with your audience, then you want to make sure that you are packaging that up. So we talked about some of those soft skills that can be in your expertise, and also hard skills that can be there as well. Oh, hey, Lynn, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stage.
Hey, how are you? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Good, good, good. Are you currently a speaker?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. And what are your speaking topics?
So I have several different type of speaking topics. I have those that are for just my business coaching, as well as those that are for my life coaching. So right now, what I'm speaking about this week, I'm speaking to the military spouse audience, where we're discussing mental health and how it's so important for you to still know who you are as a military wife, as well as understand the loneliness of the process when you're being a military wife. So that is what I'm speaking on this week.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I think that that's amazing that you do that. Thank you so much for serving those spouses that do so much. We actually just hired someone who is a military spouse. So I'm super excited about her and about that mission. That's dope. Those are really good topics. One of the things that I would share with you guys, like Lynn just talked about who she speaks to. And one, that work, you can tell that it's something that is passion driven, but it's also something that the market needs right now more than ever. So if you do anything in the mental health space, if you're a therapist, my clients who are therapists are killing it. They are crushing it right now. They're able to pitch like never before. They're able to do things that, one, I think that 2020 has given us a lot of perspective that we didn't have in the past. And so what I'm seeing in the marketplace is that people are able to share some of those soft skills that were always seen as just like, oh yeah, self-care, that's important, whatever, we'll see what happens. That is now becoming integral to companies' missions. Mental health, integral to corporate missions in a way that it has not been in the past. So one thing I want to make sure for all the speakers in the room that I share before we let Quinn speak, I think she was on stage next, is make sure when you're pitching, you're not just pitching one-off engagements. Every time you pitch, you should be pitching you should be pitching long-term contracts. Always give your client some place to go, particularly your corporate clients. So with that said, we want to welcome Quinn to the stage. Quinn, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Ashley, how are you? And thank you so much for literally opening this up. When I saw the tagline, I was like, oh yeah, this is a room that I need to be in. Hello, everyone. My name is Quinn Conyers, and I train Black women in business how to turn conversations into cash so they can profit from public speaking on and offline. I personally believe that your voice, more importantly, public speaking, is the number one skill set that you need to master if you want to be successful in business. And the reason why I'm so excited about the topic and the number one lie, keeping speakers from growing their business, Ashley, if you don't want mine, I would love to add my insight into this because you've been dropping jewels and gems. So I hope y'all write notes when this lady talks because she knows what she's talking about. Is the fact that honestly, a lot of speakers think that the only way they can make money is if a corporation or a company pays them. And that's just one way. So a big lie that I really see that are, keeping speakers from growing their business is they're just waiting, wishing, and praying for them to be hired by a corporation. So that's just one stream of income in your business. I want to give you a statistic that really rocked my world and blew my mind. 51% of speakers and entrepreneurs make their money through a speaking fee or an honorarium, meaning people say, you want to speak here, this is my fee, and people pay it. But 49% of speakers and entrepreneurs make their money from speaking for free or waiving their fee and then selling their product or service to the audience members. So that's about a 2% difference. So a big lie that I really see that speakers are making that's not allowing them to grow is that the only way they're trying to make their money is if they're trying to get that upfront fee. So I just want to encourage everyone listening to actually take notes as well as to keep in mind that you can profit from public speaking on your own platform. That means it might be time to create that offer, create that online course, VIP day, virtual conference, and you can sell directly to individual clients and customers. Seriously, corporations and companies is just one way to make money. I want you to diversify the way that you can make money speaking. So thank you for letting me share that.
Absolutely. And that's a really good point, Quinn, because quite frankly, episode 39 on the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast talks about different speaking models. And I just interviewed Darnielle. Her episode dropped today, and she makes 7 figures selling from the stage. So it's all about the different business model. But one of the things that Quinn pointed out that I wanted to touch on is 51% are waiting, wishing, and praying that corporate organizations hire them to speak. The real problem is you shouldn't be waiting, wishing, and praying. You should be strategizing and pitching strategically. So if you are waiting, wishing, and praying, it's gonna take a lot for you to get those engagements consistently. And that's why a lot of what we talk about in the Speak Your Way to Cash Academy is systematically scaling your speaking business. But what I see is speakers, one, if you want to speak for free, that's totally fine. I personally don't have that business model. I don't do that. But that is a business model that people have created a ton of money from. One of the things that I will say too is that when you are speaking and you're thinking about getting paid to speak, you don't have to repeatedly do anything. You don't have to repeatedly get on a stage. Some of the deals that I negotiate for my clients through my firm are these multi-6-figure licensing deals. That means you create a corporate presentation one time and you license that singular presentation to corporations across America. It is one presentation you do one time, and companies pay you a fee every single year for hosting that presentation on their platforms. It's called licensing. It's powerful and it's very underutilized. And it's not something that I hear a lot of people talking about, probably because they don't understand the nuances of it from both a legal and a speaking standpoint. But it is a powerful tool to ensure that you're not overworking. Because personally, for me, hopping on 50 stages a year isn't appealing. It's just not. What's appealing is me hitting multi 6 and 7 figures without having to do that if I don't want to. Then I'm opened up to get on the stages that I'd actually like to be on. I see Elizabeth on stage. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? I think you're next, actually. Did you have a comment, question, insight to lead to the conversation? Thank you so much again, Quinn.
Hey, Ashley, it's Elizabeth Go. I just wanted to say that you are absolutely amazing. I attended your Speak Your Way to Cash weekend a couple of months ago, and it was life-changing for me and for my business.
Oh, praise God.
Yeah, it was amazing. My business is that I primarily focus on teaching Black women that are in corporate spaces how to negotiate their salaries. Black women in corporate spaces only get paid on average 62 cents for every dollar that a white man makes. And we know that those numbers are awful. And we also know that there are a number of Black women that actually want to stay in corporate spaces. But the problem is that they are not willing to flex their courage muscle and speak up in the way that they need to speak up as it relates to their salaries. So I just wanted to come on here and say thank you. For people who are not familiar with Ashley, get familiar. Her podcast drops gems. Her group on Facebook is amazing. And if you really want to have someone to support you in strategizing for your future and for your audience, Ashley is it. And that's it.
Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I really appreciate it. I love what you do. I just, I left corporate America because I felt disrespected, if we're being honest. But I shouldn't have had to leave. I should not have had to leave. And I feel like especially in corporate spaces, the reason why they need to retain exceptional talent is because I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur. I understand the hustle of being an entrepreneur, but I was one of those people that was like, look, if I can make millions working a job, I'm doing it. And so another lie that we hear out there is that you can't make millions on a job. The lowest paid equity partner at my law firm was bringing in $1.2 million. And I was bringing in $300K by the time I left. So I knew had I stayed there, done what I was supposed to do, grew the firm the way I could have grown it, I could have worked for someone else and made millions. However, it wasn't worth the emotional toll for me to do that. So they spent thousands of dollars recruiting me, literally. I think over $100,000 recruiting me, getting me to accept this job offer for me to leave because it wasn't an inclusive workplace. And so the work that you do, companies need to hire you ASAPually because they're losing their star talent all because they can't figure out how to foster community and connectivity at work. So, I really hope that these companies are receptive to what you're putting out there and that you're positioning it with the level of urgency that it has, because hiring is so just time consuming and not fun that I don't know why anyone would want to lose good talent just because they can't figure out how to be an inclusive workplace. So we definitely need that message out into the market for sure. And we need that to come with some executive coaching for these middle managers, because that is why most people leave the workplace, middle management.
Hey, Ashley,
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Ashley, I wanted to piggyback on what Quinn stated earlier. I think one of the reasons why we're not truly able to benefit sometimes as speakers, especially if we are new speakers, is the fact that we're too afraid to get in the DMs. And I feel like when we're limiting ourselves just to say, hey, I have this Instagram, I have my Facebook page. If we're not hopping in the DMs to really ask for the business, we're limiting ourselves and limiting our income. One thing that I can say is that I won't say I don't have time, but I know if I get a new follower, I have a system that automatically asks them for the business without me even knowing.
What is the system, Lynn? Which one do you use?
Put you on, girl. So I love Gramto, I think is how we pronounce it, but it's G as in giraffe, R as in Rachel, A as in apple, M as in Matthew, T as in Tom, O as in oxys. It is a great free software that you can just go to their website and sign up for free. where it automatically goes, where you can connect your Instagram and other social media pages to where you can set up an actual thank you for following me message, or how you want to connect with them, whatever you want to put. Mainly what mine does is mine says, thank you for following me. I hope you like my page, all this information. Here's my website. However, how can I help you with your business? Because obviously you followed me because you know I'm a business owner, I'm a business coach, I'm a life coach, all of these things. So I ask you directly so that you won't give me a yes or no answer, so that I can see, hey, how can I be of service to you? Like, why are you following me? What are you needing? So I think that's something that'll be great for especially the new speakers that are kind of scared to hop in the DMs so quick and don't know what to say, but they know how to have a conversation. So I think that'll be a great way to start off.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like using your message, using your story to connect with the people that you have to grow your business. And even though that's not directly, speaking on the stage, like Quinn said, there are so many different ways to utilize your voice in order to create income for your business. So I appreciate you sharing that. I also appreciate you sharing the resource, Lynn, because I love resources. Absolutely. Just to reset the room and give you guys some context for what we're speaking about. We're talking about the number one lie keeping speakers from growing their business. Personally, I believe that lie is this. I think that we are taught that if we haven't reached a certain level of success, we can't serve businesses that have. And that is the lie that's keeping you from pitching these Fortune 100 companies, because pitching those Fortune 100 companies is scary to you, because you're like, well, how can I pitch these large companies when I haven't made a certain amount of money in my own business, or I don't have a certain amount of esteem in my own business yet? But your expertise transcends all of that. And these big companies are literally waiting and willing to hire you to share your message and to speak. And as Quinn said before, a little bit earlier, you don't even, if you aren't going to pitch these companies, the other way that you can make money from speaking is by moving forward and going and speaking possibly for free, but then selling your products and services on the back end. Then Lynn came in with some tips on how to sell those products and services even without getting on stage through Instagram direct messages. So we've been having a good conversation about how to utilize speaking to really grow your business. So hopefully you all have found something that was helpful to you. Now, all right, next to the stage, we have Margot. Oh, hey, girl.
Yes. Hey, girl. So thank you for this conversation. I think it's super pivotal. So